Alright, hello everyone. This video will be about going from vegetarian to vegan. And I know there's a lot of people out there, they'll say, I can do vegetables, I can do no meat, but I just can't get rid of the cheese. I can't get rid of the cheese, so I'm gonna just be vegetarian. Well, like I've said, in several videos, and I've expressed several times before, that you definitely want to get rid of the dairy first. I mean, you don't want to have a lot of dairy or dairy period in your diet. I mean, I would say that whether you're a regular meat eater or vegetarian or vegan. I mean, definitely not vegan, because vegans don't eat dairy anyway. But if you're a meat eater or vegetarian, I would say definitely get rid of the dairy period, because dairy just causes so much mucus in the body as far as the process that it goes through. This is including eggs. As far as the whole dairy sector of food, the process that the hen goes through when they release their eggs, when they release the yolk that you're eating, that's not a egg, that's not a baby egg. The process of the eggs that are being released, basically the egg yolk is the remnants of the hen's menstrual cycle. That's basically what the egg yolk is. I mean, you can do your research, and I know what I'm talking about. That's all it is. I mean, so you're basically eating the remnants of the hen's, the chicken or the hen's remnant cycle. Menstrual cycle, and you're taking this pus. That's basically what it is. Pus. These menstrual cells into your body and consuming them for nutrition. Think about what I just said. You're consuming pus and menstrual cells in your body for nutrition. I mean, how disgusting does that sound? I mean, why would someone want to continue doing that day by day, night by night, month by month, week by week, year by year, consuming these dairy products as a vegetarian or as a meat eater for nutrition? I mean, that's just one example. At the end of the cow, everybody knows the cow. How they release their milk from their body. We can get the milk from them. As far as it being fortified and being pasteurized into a drinkable milk for humans. Because we're the only species that consumes another animal's milk. No other animal consumes milk from another animal. I mean, the milk for humans should be human milk. You should drink if you're a baby, you should be drinking human milk. You should not be drinking milk beyond your another animal's milk. I mean, you can drink the mother's milk up until growth, but after that, there's really no need for milk after that. I mean, for growth, because you've grown into a full, teenage, you've grown into a full man or a full woman. So from a boy or girl, from a baby to to a man or a woman. So what's the need for milk anyway? If you're talking about the nutritional purposes, we already talked about in other videos how there's other sources of calcium. You don't want to do it for calcium, so you have the plant sources of calcium. I've already talked about that in another video. You don't want to do it for vitamin B12, vitamin B6, because you already have other good sources, vitamin B12, vitamin B6, and other sources. So definitely I'll add on to that as well. The vitamin B12 and vitamin B6 you definitely can get from, I mean, the one source, it could be the nutritional, that's one nutritional yeast, which nutritional yeast is definitely something you can use, and that's something you can use to have like a cheesy aroma or taste to it, or flavor to it. So you can use it in, I don't know, recipes that you might cook if you want to do that. As far as if you want to get that cheesy flavor or cheesy aroma, there's also recipes like you can put it on top of a salad or things like that. It's several different hold on just a second, I'm sorry. Several different ways that you can definitely get your your vitamin B6, vitamin B12 other than from the dairy products. And we, like I said, um, sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, and going along too, the natural source is definitely, I mentioned the tofu. You can tofu definitely has vitamin B12, good source of, you have the tempeh, the miso, the fermented tofu. You can get it from there. You have blue green algae, which is definitely it's a good source. It's a bacteria. It's definitely a good source as far as plants go. I mean, sometimes you'll have it in the agave nectar, which some people use as maple syrup instead of using regular maple syrup. That's a good source of vitamin B12 as far as food source. Spirulina, which is definitely spirulina and seaweed, definitely good vitamin B12. Various seaweeds. I mean, there's several different. You have chlorella, you have the nori, which definitely the nori is what you use, when you're making your your seaweed wraps. As far as like the like the sushi, you have like your vegetarian sushi with carrots and celery and things like that you might put inside of that. Those are definitely good sources, good ways to to get the vitamin B12 in your diet. So we have the fermented tofu, we have the seaweeds, different types of seaweeds. We have the spirulina, which you can do the spirulina powders if you want to. There's several different spirulina powders out there that you can do for good high protein and vitamin B12, as far as making sure that you get your daily amount in if you're trying to build muscle, things like that. Let's see, sorry about that. And it's also even in mushrooms. That's one thing that I didn't know a lot about as far as the mushrooms. I did know about the spirulina and I know about the spirulina, and I did know about the seaweed that definitely has in the fermented tofu. It definitely has a good source of vitamin B12. But if you just if you don't want to take any of these sources, um, you definitely can, if you don't trust any of these sources, you definitely can always take a multivitamin. I mean, that's just, I would recommend getting it from natural sources, and as far as that goes. But let's get back to the topic at hand. As far as going from vegetarian to vegan, vegetarian to vegan is not really that hard. I mean, you just have to get rid of the dairy, and we've already talked about reasons to get rid of dairy, as far as the what it does to your body, what is going through the process of the chemicals that it's releasing into your body as you're eating it. The calcium deficiency that it's actually putting your body through, is you might not know about, because you're thinking that dairy contains calcium, that it's giving you calcium to your body. So you definitely don't want to be consuming that. And as far as I would just start off gradual. You can try the vegan cheeses. The vegan cheese brands that one brand I've tried, I think is pretty good, is a Daiya brand. Daiya is Daiya. It's definitely a good brand of cheese. You can start off with. If you can't get over cheese, I would try sprinkling that on whatever recipes that you do, whether it's your salad, or whether it's some of your cooked meals, or whether it's your lasagnas, your pizzas. If you have those foods, I would definitely say, as a vegetarian or vegan, you want to get away from processed foods, though. With a lot of vegetarians, they think that, oh yes, cheese, I'm vegetarian, I can eat a lot of stuff with cheese. It can be processed. So overall, throughout this whole health guide, you definitely, one of the big take-home messages is to get away from processed foods. You definitely want to stay away from processed foods as much as possible. So you can use those vegan cheeses, but there's a lot of natural cheese recipes that you can make from nuts and seeds, like sunflower seed cheese, As some people, they use cashew cheese, but I wouldn't recommend cashew cheese because it's been said that cashews or they go through a very strenuous process of when you take them, because they start as a fruit, cashew fruit, and you have to boil them and cook them to release them from the shell. And they kind of go through a whole just extraneous process. It's not really recommended to consume those because they can be kind of toxic as well. So you definitely want to be careful with the cashews. But there's several, macadamia nuts, Brazil nut cheese. There's some cheese recipes out there that don't require nuts, and I would more so say if you're gonna do the seed cheeses, I would say seeds versus the nuts. Something like sunflower seeds or something like that. Definitely sunflower seeds would probably be the best choice versus some of the nut cheeses. Almond cheese recipes, Brazil nut cheese, macadamia nuts, and pine nut cheese. It's a lot of cheese recipes out there versus the processed cheese. You just have to kind of do your research. But I would start, maybe off with that brand if you're okay with doing processed stuff for a little while, but wean yourself off the processed stuff and try to learn some natural cheese recipes like some of the seed cheese and nut cheeses that I talked about. And then just eventually maybe just get yourself off of cheese. Because it's not, it's really not that serious. It's all about stimulation of a hormone called dopamine in your brain. That these bad foods like pizza and hot dogs and lasagnas and all this stuff, they're stimulating your brain. That when you consume them, they're releasing a dopamine drug that's naturally in your body. And when you eat more and more of these foods, it's because the dopamine is releasing more in your body to give you the desire to have more of these bad foods, and it becomes a food addiction. Which I've talked about this in another video too, as far as food addiction. And that's fact as far as dopamine, the natural dopamine in your body being released because which causes a hormonal or psychological food addiction to certain foods that are bad for you. When you know they're bad, but dopamine being released in your body is controlling your mind in a sense, because you're increasing dopamine production as you're eating more of these foods that are just empty nutrients anyway. Because when you cook them, like I said, cooked foods already have less nutrients anyway, whether they're plant foods or not. So if you cook bad foods, they're just empty calories anyway, when you're consuming them. So they're just like bad calories. That slice of pizza or that cheeseburger or them French fries and stuff like that, that's just bad. They're just bad empty calories in your body. So when your body is having these calories, not only do you have extra release of dopamine production that's telling you that you want more of the bad foods as far as food addiction, but your body is lacking the nutrients from the calories, because since they're being cooked and they've been processed, they have way less than 50% of the calories that they originally had as that piece of chicken or a piece of beef or a piece of whatever that was 20 grams of protein per piece. It has way less than that when it's being processed and go through all these processes when it's been put into the burger or the pizza or the processed meal that you ate or whatever. So your body is lacking nutrients and vitamins and minerals. So that's what caused you to eat more, to make up for the lack of the nutrients that are in the processed foods, because they've been put through so many processes or whatever. So you have these two things going on that's definitely it's gonna be pretty bad anyway. And I don't mean to go onto a tangent as far as that, but you definitely want to weed yourself off processed foods. Dairy is processed, period. I mean, so you definitely, as take home messages is kind of start off with some of the like the Daiya brand, and then come up with some of your own recipes as far as cheese. And, eat more fruits and vegetables. Eat more fresh fruits. Eat more salads. As far as, I mean, there's nothing wrong with eating cooked foods and things like that. It's a vegetarian, but instead of putting cheese on your salad, maybe just put like some fresh seasonings that you made, or some fresh, like I said, the nut cheeses or seed cheese that you made instead of using regular cheese. And then eventually steadily sign yourself off of cheese, and you'll come to the point where the separation of vegans and vegetarians it'll be very small to you, because you'll be like, only thing that separated me was just cheese and dairy, or just dairy. So once you get off dairy, period, and as far as eggs go, I know that's a big thing for people too. I don't mean to take too much time, but eggs, there's some fermented tofu egg recipes out there, raw and cooked. Go online. There's something called tofu scramble. You can take tofu and make season it up, because really all the eggs are is just just plain pus and menstruation from the hen with seasoning on it, you know, with your cheese or whatever is on. I mean, a lot of people, I don't know, that like the fresh taste of eggs. So, you know, you can take the tofu scramble, simply, I'm using my common sense, and season it up and put, you know, maybe put some nutritional yeast on it to give it that cheesy taste, cheesy flavor, and you be getting vitamin B12 as well as you're doing it on the cooked end. You know, if you need eggs and things like that. It's just several little things. This is a vegan product, vegan substitute for every single thing that you can think of from a vegetarian to vegan, where you'll see that separation between vegans and vegetarians are very small. Just think of all the substitutes and recipes and natural, unprocessed things you can do for the dairy side, and transition that over to your vegan side. And as you're doing that, you'll get into it, you'll like it, and then you'll see that, you know, you'll wean yourself off that stuff, and you kind of just be eating regular plant foods. No dairy substitutes, and no processed nothing. You're just eating regular cooked or fresh fruits and vegetables on the vegan end, and before you know it, you're a vegan. It's not that hard. So yes, this video is 15-16 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some info from it. Definitely, you know, like, share, subscribe, comment if you have anything to comment on, and send me any messages if you have any questions. All right.